Okay, take two. Oh wait, shit, I'm recording. Hello, this is Broski04 for Triple Threat 420, and today, it is snowing outside. It's very fucking cold. But that didn't stop me from smoking. I went outside, I smoked a bit. I'm progressively getting higher. Have a couple cake bars. You can just kind of... They are getting low though, and I'm saving at least one for Christmas Day, so I will be jollier than a motherfucker on Christmas morning. But while in my solitude, oh, by the way, you like my Christmas decorations? We got our Charlie Brown Christmas tree here. Very nice. But anyways, in my solitude, I have the day off from work today, so I have nothing to do. I was going through our videos, and I saw two videos that did really well for us. Again, really well is bad for other channels, but we take what we can get. So, nonetheless, two videos that did pretty good for us. My ranking of every Slipknot album, which did really good, and my quick little review of Metallica's newest song, Lux Eterna. So I thought I will mash the two together, and I even think I said I might do this at the end of the Lux Eterna review. I'm going to rank every studio album by Metallica. Now, I'm specifying studio album because there's a bit of a difference here. I didn't really need to explain any of this with the Slipknot one because they don't really have anything outside of studio albums. I think they have like one live album and then the Make, Feed, Kill, Repeat demo, and that's it. But Metallica, they have a lot more, and so just so people don't put in the comments, hey, you forgot this album, or hey, you forgot this album, you don't know nothing. I do know. I love Metallica. I'm a big Metallica fan. I know everything pretty much. Probably not everything, but I know a good amount of the Metallica lore, I guess. So anyways, studio album is an album. What you think of when you hear album. Which is just, bunch of original songs put on a disc or whatever, and there you go. What you think of when you hear someone say album, that's what a studio album is. Now, Metallica has a couple of these other things, so I'm going to explain what they are real quick and why they are not included. Compilation albums or cover albums. Metallica has one in Garage Inc., and that's what it is. It is like an album, but instead of original songs, it's a bunch of cover songs. Which, obviously, that's what Metallica did with Garage Inc. It's a collection of them covering songs to various degrees of enjoyability and good. And then there are, of course, live albums. The most famous Metallica live albums are the S&M ones, or the S&M albums, where Metallica performed with the San Francisco Symphony to kind of create a metal symphony mix. Again, to varying degrees of success. My main problem with the S&M albums is the second one. I don't think Metallica really played that great in that one. And then the first one is better, but it's better, but my problem is that they use a lot of songs off of Load and Reload. We will talk about those albums. They use too many songs off of there instead of their more iconic songs, so that's really my problem with those albums. But anyways, other than those, we are going to talk about every other Metallica album, which means starting at the bottom, I'm sorry, that sounded weird. Starting at the bottom. I actually went and double checked to make sure that this counts as a studio album, hoping that it didn't, so I wouldn't have to talk about it, but I do, nonetheless. Lulu. If you don't know what Lulu is, it is a collaboration album between Metallica, obviously, and Lou Reed. If you not know Lou Reed, he is an old singer. Actually, I think he's more of a poem writer than a singer, but whatever. This most famous song is Walk on the Wild Side. I'm pretty sure you've heard of that song. At least you've heard of it. Maybe you've heard it. I don't know. I fucking hate it. So, already, if I knew nothing about this album, the only reason why I would consider listening to it is because Metallica's involvement, but whatever. But holy shit, this album fucking sucks. Is the album experimental? Yes, you can definitely call it. That's exactly what it is. It's a very experimental album. Does that make it a good album? No, it is fucking terrible. And I wish I never listened to it. The only good thing I can say about this album is that at some points it is so fucking bad it will make you laugh. So, I don't know. If you don't care if your ears bleed and you want to laugh and you want some laughs, I guess you can listen to it. Other than that, do not fucking listen to this album. This album is fucking terrible. But at least we're at the bottom, and the only way to go from the bottom is up. But we're not going much farther up, as the next album on this list is Saint Anger. Now, I honestly do not want to spend too much time talking about this album, as this album is already infamous for being one of the most hated albums in rock and metal. I'll take a hit here. I might be able to get something out of this one. I got something out of it. Okay. That one is Tequila Sunrise, in case you're wondering. Alright. Okay, what to say about Saint Anger? Let's get the elephant out of the room real quick. The fucking snare drum from Lars. It sounds like it literally sounds like he's banging on a trash can lid throughout the entire fucking album. And you know what? I am not one to hate on Lars Ulrich as much as other people do. Like, some people really fucking hate Lars. I understand why, but I don't hate him as much. I still have my problems with him. I don't hate him as much, even though I do understand why people do hate him that much. But anyways, there's that. Just cringy ass songwriting, fucking. It's just not good. It's not good. It's not good. It's honestly the only thing that I get out of it is just the fall. Like, later on, we're gonna get into the really good albums this band has made. You know, and then they make this, so, you know, that's the only thing. But anyways, piece of shit album. Sucks. I'm only putting it above Lulu because it's at least more cohesive, and at least Metallica has the excuse of being in a very bad place at the time. James Hetfield was going through rehab at the time. I think one of them was going through a divorce. One of them had other problems. I forget exactly, but at least there's that, you know. Obviously, when you're not in the best headspace, you're not getting along with the people you're collaborating with, you know, you're working with, obviously, you're not going to make the best. You're not going to make the best things, you know. So, I'll at least give it that excuse. But that's it. Now, let's get into what I would consider decent albums. First off, we have Reload. Oh yeah, we're breaking out the vinyls again. And now if you're a Metallica fan, you're probably questioning, why the fuck do you have Reload on vinyl? I question that too. I really do. Now, is this Metallica at their best? Fuck no. But, so this is the late 90s weird time where Metallica went full hard rock and cut their hair, dyed it black, put on some eyeliner. It got fucking weird as shit in the 90s from Metallica, but nonetheless, this happened. But anyways, Reload here, it's not bad. Many people automatically hate these albums because they're not metal, they're not thrash metal, you know, Metallica sold out. It did not sell out. That's a whole different discussion. But they did not sell out, even with these albums, they did not. But anyways, the reason why I do have it above all these is because there's actually some pretty decent songs on here. Fuel is a fucking banger. That opening makes me laugh a bunch. It's just, and it's funny to scream along with. Give me fuel, give me fire, give me da 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 da. It's just fun to jam along to, you know. The Memory Remains is actually my favorite song off of this album, and is really cool. I don't know, it's just a really cool song. Actually, my first memory of this song was at WrestleMania 28. WrestleMania 28, the match was The Undertaker versus Triple H in a Hell in a Cell, which is just like a big cage that they put over the ring. And as the cage was lowering, this song, The Memory Remains, was playing. And so, you know, after hearing the song all these years later, they kind of just like reminded me of that. I was like, I remember this. So that kind of holds a near spot to me. That was actually the first WrestleMania I ever watched. So that song kind of has a bit of a special place for me. Very good one. The Unforgiven 2 is pretty good. Not as good as the first Unforgiven, but you know, it's pretty good. And that's really where the highlights of this album stop. Devil's Dance is okay. The rest of it is pretty forgettable. It ranges from bad to forgettable for the rest of the songs. So that's why Reload is at that spot. And right above Reload, we have Load. Again, why do you have Load on vinyl? I question that too. I might sell these probably. You know what? I might sell them. Mainly because I need room in my crate that I keep my records in, because I have no fucking room for these things. But anyways, Load, it's better than Reload. It's got some pretty good songs on here. Until It Sleeps is actually a really good, like, slow kind of hard rock jam that, I don't know, I really do vibe with, and I actually have on my Stoned playlist because I just really vibe with it. It's just a pretty chill song. King Nothing is probably my favorite song off of this album, even though even if you really just listen to it, it is just a sort of weird note. It's basically taking the structure of Enter Sandman and slightly changing some things and changing the lyrics. But it's pretty much just Enter Sandman again, but it's still a good song nonetheless. The other songs aren't as bad as the other songs on Reload, so that's why I will put this one slightly. This is why I put this one above Reload, because at least I don't think the songs suck as much. Oh, and also the other one that, I don't know, just kind of just like weird to me, kind of like tears me a bit, is Mama Said. Like, it's a weird country ballad, but for some reason I just kind of vibe with it. I really shouldn't like that song, but I do. I don't know why. Whatever. Next up we have Death Magnetic, released in 2008. I haven't been saying that for these other albums. I don't know why I decided to say it for that. Whatever. But anyways, Death Magnetic. Next, this was held as the return to form. After all this shit, after the weird hard rock experiment of the mid to late 90s, after the shit show that was Saint Anger, producer Rick Rubin pretty much got Metallica and told them, you guys can be thrash metal again. You guys can be Metallica again. And kinda. This album overall is good and is a vast improvement over the last ones, but it still has some problems. The overall production of this album, like the sound, like the editing and everything of it, is actually pretty fucking terrible. so that's not very good. But there are, again, some pretty fun songs on here, such as All Nightmare Long and Cyanide. Both are, some kind of calls back to some earlier, I won't quite say like the thrash metal era of the 80s, but somewhere in between that and the Black Album of the early 90s. They sit nice in there. Not full on like speed thrash metal, but we're returning to form. It is somewhat a return to form. And then you of course have the third part of The Unforgiven, which is, it's okay. It's fine. Honestly, I really don't think they needed to do three, like a whole series of those songs. The first one is the best one. I will get to that, but, whatever. So overall, Death Magnetic, the other songs on here, some of them are kind of bad. Other ones are, again, just fine. Again, this one I mainly put this one does go above all the other ones because, again, it's pretty good. I can somewhat listen to it without my ears bleeding if they have better audio mixing. But whatever. That's really all I have to say about this album. I don't know. It was cool to see Metallica come back, obviously. As I'm going to say in the next entry, they would sort of get more into that, but whatever. Alright, next up is the album that came out right after Death Magnetic, their latest album, Hardwired to Self-Destruct. And this one actually is pretty good. This is where I'd say we're starting the good albums. First off, the production on this album is a vast improvement over Death Magnetic, so my ears don't want to bleed when I listen to it because it sounds good. It doesn't sound like it doesn't. The mixing is good. And also, I think the songwriting is a lot more strong on here, and here I do say we are getting a full return to thrash Metallica, and no song is more evident of that than Spit Out the Bone, which has become one of my all-time favorite Metallica songs. Like, holy crap, just the second it starts, James hits you with that gut-punching, just classic thrash metal chug. And it just goes from there. I fucking love that song. Other great songs on this album, Atlas Rise and Now That We're Dead, are very good. Not thrash metal, but good heavy metal tunes. They probably would actually. Yeah, never mind. I'm retracting that statement before I say it. But anyways, pretty good songs on this album. Better songwriting, more thrashy tunes, better return to form here. And this does get me, seeing that progression here from Death Magnetic to Hardwired. That does get me even more excited for the newest album, 72 Seasons. I think that comes out in April. Hopefully we get even more classic thrasher Metallica. Who knows? But now we're getting into the God tier albums here. Alright, first off, so this is the top 5 albums. So at number 5 we have their debut album, Kill 'Em All. Now, is it bad? No. Is it great? I would also say no. But the one way I would describe this album is really good and fun. That's the main thing. Like, there isn't any, like, musical wizardry going on here. It's not like we would see on later Metallica albums where, they, like... It really, like, on later albums, it literally feels like they are creating art with music. Here, they don't give a shit about that. This is Metallica at their hungriest, their angstiest, their angriest, and they're just writing full-on, muscle shirt, just kick-your-ass thrash metal tunes. And there's nothing wrong with that. It is a very fun time capsule to go back and look upon. We have... at this point, there's a certain vision with Metallica. And this album is quite different from that vision that people have now. James Hetfield was, I think, like 19 when this album came out. So, yeah, his voice sounds young. Like, Like, listen to this and then, like, listen to Lux Eterno, for example. You would not believe it's the same fucking guy. You know what? Not even that big a time gap. Listen to this and then listen to this and then listen to Enter Sandman. It's like, holy shit. Listen to Seek and Destroy off of here and then listen to Enter Sandman. Very big difference. So, a very fun and strong debut, but they can do better. Next up at number 4, we have And Justice for All. Now, again, there is a dead horse when it comes to this album, and what I mean, like the expression beating a dead horse. I am so high right now. That there is no bass on this album. We know. There's no bass on the album. We get it. If there was bass, I would actually rank this album higher, but guess what? Everyone's talked about it to death. I don't need to. So moving on past that. This album's fucking amazing. Not a bad song on this album, but I'll just show you the track list. It's probably backwards, but you know, you could figure it out. You can figure it out. All of it. Go listen to all of it. It's amazing. If you're gonna listen to just one song though, one of the greatest songs about like war ever written. It's so good. So good. Alright. That was number 4. Number 3, we have their most popular album, their most successful album, their self-titled album, Metallica, or as it is more commonly known, the Black Album. If you put it into the light, you can kind of see there's more than just black. There's like a snake there, and then there's Metallica's name right there. But yes, the Black Album, I don't know what I can say that hasn't already been said about this album. This album, again, no bad songs in it. It's a fucking crusher all the way through. Now, I know somebody, this sad because they weren't thrash metal anymore. No, that is not the case with this album. They're not a sellout. Again, I'm not going to get into that discussion. That's a whole nother thing I could do. Just talking about the album. And it's flawless. It's a great fucking album. You know, this album didn't sell just well because Metallica made their sound more mainstream. It's because it's a fucking great album filled with great songs. Again, there you go. I'll just show you all the songs on there. And there. You go listen to all of them. I challenge you. Number 2. These are God tier albums right here. Both of these are absolutely amazing. Number 2, we have Ride the Lightning. Now, seeing this as the natural progression after their first album, Kill 'Em All, holy crap, they've grown in the 1 year that between these albums. James Hetfield's voice still sounds young. That's not going to change within a year. But as songwriters, they are a lot more mature. They are taking more risk with their music, such as with the song Fade to Black, which is a full-on ballad and a beautiful one at that. One of my favorite Metallica songs. I think everyone should listen to it. Everything else is just a fucking punch in the face. The only song that does not ruin the album, but does kind of damper it, is Escape. Not a bad song, but does not live up to the rest of the album. The rest of the album is up here. That song's kind of down here. Not even Metallica really likes that song, and I just knocked the ornament, whatever. But anyways, besides that one song, amazing album. I listen to this all the fucking time. And now, finally, number 1, to probably no one's surprise, Master of Puppets. Not only Metallica's greatest album, not just that, it's one of the greatest albums of all time. And it is probably the greatest metal album of all time. Like, holy shit, this album is so fucking good. Here's the track list. Just go listen to all of it. Go listen to this entire album right now if you have not. Look into my eyes if you have not listened to this album. You need to rectify that right now. Go listen to this album. Absolute masterpiece. Must listen for any metal fan. I can't add anything to that, so I'm going to end the video here, ladies and gentlemen. That was my ranking of every Metallica album. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let me know. How would you rank them? I don't know when I'll see you guys again, but I will. I don't know when Twin and Jay are going to upload again. Hopefully soon, because I feel like I carry this channel sometimes. But don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you on in the next one.